Hi, this is Dr. Helen Sue from Hella Mental Health. It's getting a little bit cold. I'm all bundled up. And someone was asking me the other day, how do they handle the holidays if they want to support a friend who is grieving? You know, we're at this place now, it's December 15th, 2021, where it was announced that at least 800,000 Americans have passed away from COVID. And that's just COVID. We've all also lost people from other causes as well. And so that's a lot of grievers out there. And it's a great question of how can I be a good friend or support and do this holiday thing, celebrations and such, when I know that somebody's grieving. So a few quick tips. Please do still invite anybody that you would normally invite. One of the most lonely parts of grieving is when people want to be helpful but feel really awkward and they don't want to make you sad and they don't know what to say. And you just stop being invited or people don't talk to you. And that actually increases the loneliness and isolation on top of grief. So please do invite anyone that you normally would. Maybe even invite somebody that you don't normally, but you're afraid they might be alone and might be kind of sad, and give them permission to come as they are. That you are okay if they're not up for it, you just wanted to extend the invitation. You're okay if they want to just come for a little while and not stay. And you're okay if they want to come and just be sad and be kind of quiet, but just enjoy the company or enjoy the food. Just accept that they are where they are, and that's okay. Also know that it's okay to talk about the person. Of course, you could always ask the griever, but generally the consensus among people who are grieving a loss is that they would love hearing things. They love to hear a favorite memory about a dear one that's gone. They like to still have those times that the person's presence is still there when we tell stories, share memories, and that you shouldn't be afraid that if you bring it up, you'll make the person sad or you might remind them, because trust me, they haven't forgotten. Grief comes and goes, but it's definitely there, and it's okay to acknowledge and talk about the new reality. Even if we're not very happy about it and don't want to accept it, this is where we are and it's okay to talk. And then just think a little bit about traditions. Maybe it's really valuable to keep up an old tradition. Like, well, our family always did this and we would like to keep up that tradition, even if there's some people that we are missing this year. Can we find ways to bring them along? An empty spot at the table that they're still there, or still talking to them a little bit as we are going out and cutting down our Christmas tree or fixing their favorite meal. How do we still include and prolong old traditions? Because the impact of someone who's gone doesn't go away just because their mortal life has. Or you might also try, if that feels really painful or just isn't the same, maybe I don't want to make dumplings this year without my grandma. Do we want to try a new tradition? I've also had families say, you know, right now it's too painful for us to do this. She's not here to make tamales, to make dumplings. She's not here to watch our favorite movie. Maybe we'll have a new tradition. This year we're going to go out of town and go skiing. This year we're going to go watch a movie or do something totally different. But that's okay too, to try, right? It's the hard challenge of grief is, how do we integrate our past, what we do want to carry forth, with our new reality? And that takes a little trial and error. And lastly, just if you're watching this at all, thank you for wanting to be a support to somebody who's grieving, because the grief journey is something that evolves quite a bit over time. That people tend to be extremely supportive and helpful in the first couple months after a death or a loss. But as life gets busy and the person and everyone else has to get back to their normal routine, often there's also the loneliness of what happens when it's 7 months later or 7 years later and they're really thinking about their dear one or wanting to talk a little bit about their grief or their grief journey, and they feel like nobody wants to hear it. I don't ever judge anybody. There's no ever reaching a point that we're over it. At every stage in our life, we're still processing the loss. We're still thinking about the person, integrating whatever we've learned or want to carry from the person into our life going forward. So thank you for trying to support someone who's grieving during this really difficult, really sad and painful time nationwide. Thank you for also thinking about how to support them in the long run once we're past this holiday season as well. Do you have a question about mental health or about aspects of grief that might be specific types of grief? Just drop a comment, subscribe, and take good care. Hope you have a good, safe winter. Stay safe. Take care of each other.